Welcome to Cooking Through the Alphabet. We're all the way up to letter J. Can you take a guess what it is? Here's a hint. It's a vegetable, and it's native in Mexico. It's called can you guess? It's a jicama. You might say, well, Grace, we're doing J. Yes, jicama, spelled J-I-C-A-M-A. And it's found in the produce department of most major grocery stores. It's a delicious root vegetable, and you might wonder, what does it most likely resemble? Well, I have 4 different things here. This is the jicama. This is a kohlrabi. This is a potato. And here's a few pieces of water chestnut. What do you think it most resembles? Yeah, it is. It's the chestnut. The water chestnut, if you've had those in Chinese food, it mostly resembles what the jicama is as far as texture, not taste. Taste is, the jicama is much sweeter. It's delicious shredded. It can be cooked. It can be diced. And today what I'm going to have you look at is how to make a salad from a jicama. Jicama on a stick. The first thing I did was cut the jicama, and I took off the rind. All you have to do, potato peeler, or just take it around the edges with a knife like this, and all we're going to do is cut it up. Just dice it up lightly. Into the same bowl, I've already added a tomato, a few chopped mushrooms. Now I'm chopping them quite coarsely because I want them to fit on skewers. Some green peppers and onions. Now I'm thinking you might add some other vegetables that you happen to have around, maybe a zucchini or something, and you're just going to put it in a bowl, all right, and just put it off to the side. And in another bowl, you're going to add the dressing. Now, the flavor is really in the dressing, and jicamas do pretty much absorb whatever flavor is around them, so it's going to be a delicious salad. And I think you're going to have your friends wondering, what is this, this funny vegetable that I've never heard of? So what we're going to need for our dressing is simply cider vinegar, a little bit of olive oil, Dijon mustard, a little bit of honey, and of course some lime juice, and salt and pepper to taste. And the quantities are quite simple. The most you're going to need is 4 tablespoons, and that's the honey. So, or sorry, not tablespoons, teaspoons, just a little amount, unless of course you're making a larger amount. So we're just, right now we're just putting in 1, 2, 3, 4 teaspoons of the honey. Put that off to the side. Second thing I'm going to add now are just 2 teaspoons of each. That's going to be the cider vinegar. 1, 2. The olive oil. 1, 2. The Dijon mustard. 1, 2. And the lime juice. You could use fresh limes if you choose to. I just happen to have this on hand, and it's just, I know I have it in the refrigerator. 1, 2. Now, stir it around. And all we're going to do is pour this directly over the vegetables that are already cut up. So I'm just going to pour it right over top. Give it a little stir. There we go. And let it sit and marinate for at least an hour till all the vegetables are going to absorb all that lovely dressing in there. So we're just going to set that off to the side and let it marinate for the magic of TV, as they say. It's already been marinating for a while, and all you're going to do is put them on a skewer just like this. I've already skewered up some. Look at this delicious salad on a stick, and I put it on a bed of greens. You can use spinach, you can use whatever you have. Then I'm just take a little bit of the marinade that's in the bowl here and just drizzle over the top. Wow. A delicious, easy to fix salad. I'm sure your friends are going to just love it, and I think you will too. I think you'll really enjoy learning about and tasting a new root vegetable called the jicama. And I couldn't stop. I just couldn't stop there. So quickly I'm going to tell you how I made another J recipe. This J recipe is called jambalaya. Never made it before. I'm enjoying doing these cooking shows for you too because I'm learning things as well. And already back on the stove, I already put several chicken tenders. I like the chicken tenders. I cook them up because they cook up very quickly. I also added some turkey sausage. This is breakfast sausage, and I browned that back in the skillet ahead of time. Now, into that, and I used the spray pan. I didn't use olive oil, I just used the spray pan again, watching some of our calories. So to that I added onion, some pepper. Didn't have celery, so yeah, my friends will guess what I added next. Fennel. I chopped up some fennel and added to it. And you could add mushrooms, you could add zucchini, you could add some other things to it. I had already cooked up some tomatoes. I made a tomato stew for all the tomatoes that were in the garden, and I cooked them with onions and peppers. I had at least 2 cups of this that I added back to the mixture that's on the stove. And again, I did it ahead of time because it does take up to 50 minutes for it to cook. So when I was getting all that browned up and smelling really good, I added a bay leaf. Just don't forget to take it out. And it said, the recipe called for 1.5 cups of chicken broth. Now, if you don't have chicken broth on hand, I always have this mix on hand. It's a chicken base, very low. 1 tablespoon is only 15 calories. So I added this to some hot water. I added that to my mixture back there. And something else that I found that just recently at the grocery store, look at the little spices. This one just says it's quesadilla casserole. It gives you a recipe to use, but what I liked about it is it gives me 6 different spices that I don't always have on hand. And I don't like to buy big containers of them because they do lose their flavor quickly. So it's nice to have these on hand. They had some Italian spices that you could buy. I happened to buy this, and I was glad I had it on hand because what I already used in here was the garlic, the chili powder, and the crushed red peppers. I put the spices back in there because jambalaya comes from the southern states. I think Louisiana is where it first started. They made gigantic pots full, and sometimes they added shrimp and chicken and things like that to it as well. And Walter, if you're watching this, you probably had some authentic jambalaya down there in the Carolinas where you're living now. So hopefully you'll try this and give your taste buds a real treat. So while that was simmering back there with the spices, I added some rice. Now I chose to use some instant whole grain rice, Uncle Ben's. I added 1 cup of that, and along with the tomatoes and along with all the juices from the chicken broth, it all mingles for at least 50 minutes. Now, I'm going to tell you my secret ingredient. Now, you can't tell anybody because I often use this recipe, and I use the secret ingredient in my chili. I use it on my eggs. I use it on sandwiches, but don't tell because it is secret. It's called tiger sauce. Tiger sauce can be found in the same aisle where you find your A1 sauce and your Worcestershire sauce. It's a sweet, hot spice. Not too hot. Oh, it's delicious, and it just adds that little extra kick to something, and oftentimes people will say, well, what was that flavor in there? So that's the tiger sauce. So, shh, don't tell. Anyway, you can make these delicious jambalaya yourself. I think it's just about finished. Let's take a look. I wish you could smell the bay in here, and the chilies, and the delicious sausage and chicken. Again, you might want to add shrimp or crab. You could add whatever you have on hand and spice it up a little bit. I think you'll enjoy this. What a great meal that you could make simply. In less than an hour, you can have the jambalaya on the stove while you're making your salad on a stick. You can have salad along with the jambalaya, and that's our recipe for letter J. Hope you enjoy it. I hope you'll try it. I hope that you're enjoying some happy and some healthy eating. So our next letter will be A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. What could that be? Stay tuned to find out. Thanks for watching.